Well, between Roslick and this, I would say that things are looking up. We had a little bit of a tough time there for a few weeks, but I feel like we're coming out on the other side finally.
We're finally coming out on the other side. They filmed the reunion, I believe, this week or maybe today even.
Oh, wow.
So, or no, it was yesterday because we got reunion looks. So they are deep in it. We've got a couple episodes left in Miami, but the overlap is fantastic for us.
Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only South Beach McGeets. What's up, dude?
Art Basel.
Not an herb. It's not basil.
It's not Basel. Two chicks, Basel.
Honestly, Basil, it's not mine.
God, what a great time. Well, it was inevitable. We were waiting for it. It was going to happen eventually. I was hoping it wouldn't happen. I think that she has earned enough grace throughout the season where I'm still just going to laugh and not get annoyed. But Adriana has taken center stage.
Adriana. And look, she waited long, 16 episodes in? 15?
Yeah.
It's fine. At this juncture, like, she had a great season. We were going to get it eventually. I think this might have been the worst one I've seen.
It wasn't the worst one. I can tell you right now it wasn't the worst one because I forgot the worst one until they showed me.
Maybe I was writing something down.
Accidents happen all the time, Alexia.
Oh, yeah.
That is by far the worst. And I cannot believe that I forgot it. That just goes to show you how much of a pleasure she's been this year. And obviously she made some shots at Marisol that when you're watching them in a different context, you're like, all right.
Yeah, tough look.
It's still kind of funny at the time, but now it's like, all right, Adriana, maybe take a step back, think about what's going on. No, she's been great this whole season. It was inevitable. We knew it was going to happen eventually. Like I said, I think that she has earned enough for me to not be too critical of her. But boy, oh boy, I didn't even see it coming until right when it happened. Usually the writing's on the wall with an Adriana meltdown.
It's funny because, like, the whole first half, I'm so impressed. I'm like, wow, like, we never see this side of Adriana. She has clients in the art world. She's putting together this whole art show for Art Basel, which is apparently this massive event in Miami. Like, she clearly...
You don't know what Art Basel is?
I've heard of Art Basel. I honestly didn't know it was an event.
Okay. So let me paint a picture for you. Art Basel is where, when you're in your 20s and early 30s, I guess, the most annoying people that you know will go there and post on their stories. And then their stories turn into those little dots because they're posting so much about how much they love Art Basel. It's the most annoying people in the world.
Enough said. I can see it already. Thank you.
Before influencers were really a thing, these people wanted to be influencers.
Got it.
It was one of those situations where it's like, can you believe this is my life? And it's like, yeah, I can believe it's your life. You've got like 5 dudes in a hotel room in Miami you're all spending $100 a night on, and you're walking around acting like you're cool.
Wearing J. Crew stuff. Nothing wrong with J. Crew. Nothing wrong with J. Crew. I'm just saying.
At the time, I think it was like Affliction, but yeah.
Oh, God, Ed Hardy.
That
kind of vibe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's artsy as shit. I'd heard of it. I didn't know what it was. You just painted the picture very well. I can see the exact kinds of people that used to go, at least. But my point is, like, I was wowed by Adriana. I was like, she is an impressive woman. She's very well educated. She's got her master's. She's in the art world. She speaks multiple languages. She's a singer. I'm like, she gets a lot of shit, but she's actually super duper interesting. And then halfway through, we get to the Adriana cliff, and she just leaps off of it head first. I was like, there she is. All of the flowers I was giving you in my head watching this whole thing, and the minute that happened, I was like, oof. And she's back. But again, to your point, we've gotten a phenomenal season out of her. Normally, we're like 4 episodes in, and I can usually bear it a little bit more than you, and you're like, fuck this, I can't stand it, and it's driving me nuts. So she's earned the right to have a little freak out. This was not a little freak out. This was brutal, and she kept, we'll get there, and we'll talk about it, but repeating herself over and over again was tough to watch.
The way that it happens, the way it evolved was quintessential Housewives.
For sure.
It was absolutely perfect. And this whole episode was completely throwing me off, honestly, because we end last episode with Adriana and Stephanie sitting down, getting to the root cause, getting to the root person in Marisol, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, Adriana's got a teammate. maybe Stephanie's going to get on board with this and we're going to go after Marisol. They flip the tables. Marisol has nothing to do with this episode, pretty much across the board. We have one conversation with her. She's out scot-free. Everything just turns on Adriana, and it's so wild how it happened because the rest of the episode was kind of throwing me through a little curveball.
It was masterful work. It was a great episode. It was just stunning, and not in a good way. Like when we got there, I'm like, somebody take her to the bar.
Yeah.
Like, end this, please. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But great episode, great season so far. And again, if this is the freak out we're gonna get, I can handle an Adriana moment for
sure.
the last few episodes.
Absolutely.
Like the beginning 16 would have been annoying, but yeah, we're in a good spot. So let's jump in. And it starts with Adriana setting up for Art Basel. You know, she's a curator. So she's setting up this whole thing for Chris Rivers, I think his name was, which
Yes.
sounds like a very artsy name.
Yeah.
Loved his stuff.
Or like
actually.
a backup vocalist for Nickelback. One of the two.
Yeah, Chris Nichols of Nickelback.
Chris Nichols of Nickelback?
What did I
Chris
say?
Rivers.
Rivers. Nichols. Well, anyway, I love this stuff. That one with the astronaut and then the sky was all messed up. I thought that was really cool. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his shit. But anyway, like I said, just very impressed by Adriana. She's got 20 years in the art world. She's representing multiple artists from multiple countries. I like learning this stuff about her. It's like when we were in Spain and she's like, well, this is this, this is that, this is this. And you find out she's got her master's in art history and all this other shit. So it's like she's getting so many points. And
There's layers.
layers, lots of layers.
I'm not
And
going to say who else has layers because I don't want to make that comparison. That's mean.
don't do that.
Don't do
That
that.
would
I'm
be really
not
mean.
saying that, but what I'm saying is she's got layers.
You got layers.
She's book smart. She understands a lot of things that happen in history. And socially, it seems like she's very smart and very rich socially.
That what I was thinking watching this was like, until we get to the Adriana moment and then everything goes back to normal. But while I'm watching this and I'm watching other people interact with her, I'm like, do we get a product of the group of our image of Adriana? Like, is it because she's on the outs with this crew that we have this preconceived notion of who she is? But in her own circle, she's actually like looked up to, impressive, people want to hang out with her. Like, I think that's kind of the vibe I was getting initially. And then again, it all goes out the window later.
I think what we get of Adriana, I think you were right. I think when it comes to this group, we do get some sort of perception of what she is and who she is.
Right.
And when we see these one-off scenes where she's with other people outside of the group, it's almost as if like she's playing two roles.
That's what I felt like.
But I think what this really is, and honestly, this is kind of where we're going to end up going anyway. I don't think, and she doesn't strike me as somebody who has an inner circle. She doesn't really have that
She
1, 2,
floats.
3. She floats a lot. She's an enigma.
Yeah.
She really is. She's just kind of all over the place, and she's very impressive to the people that see her every once in a while. And then she has somebody like Julia, perhaps, who's close to her that actually knows the ins and outs of her life. And now, obviously, with that kind of turning a little bit, it's more chaotic in that group with her because she doesn't have somebody like Julia anymore. But for her in a social life setting, she does float around and she's very impressive. And
That's the vibe I
she's
got.
impressive to me when she's in that setting too.
Same. I was blown away. So I want to give her props. And what happens later, like, I'm not taking away from her in her other circles. It's just that was such a pivotal moment that it's like, it does definitely knock her back a little bit. But yeah, it is interesting to watch her in this light. Impressive to watch her in this light. And I think that Bravo could do a better job, honestly, of highlighting some of the things that she does instead of, because when we watch the artist thing, like the musical artist thing, it's kind of the butt of the joke sometimes, like the Emilio Estevez thing or the concert in Brazil that they did.
Yeah.
Like, it's always kind of not in jest, but it seems lighter.
It
You know what I
seems
mean?
Later because one, she's a friend of. Two, the way that the mainstays on the cast treat her, it always ends up that she's the butt of a joke.
Right.
And it's just always something that's like, and usually I'm on board with it by now in this season. This season, I'm not really, but I still understand what her role is. And I still believe that her and Marisol are the perfect friends of. I think if you give her a main cast, you give her a
Too much
mojito,
power.
you give her a little too much power, then she's organizing trips. She's organizing this. She's got a huge event. And every time that she has a huge event, she has some sort of meltdown because she has that power trip. So I do think they have her in the right spot. And I think this was going to happen regardless. She had such a good season. Maybe even the producers, maybe during the season, were like, wow, Adriana's doing a great job. Let's let her host the last party of the year. Let's see how that goes.
That actually is a pretty funny notion that
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? Here's your payout. And then they're like, fuck.
Fuck,
But at the
that's
same time,
why we don't do this, but also it's great. Like, admittedly speaking, it is very funny.
it's a great show.
It's
Great
incredibly funny
episode.
what she does at the end. I'm still, maybe I'm blocked out and I've got rose-colored glasses with Adriana. I don't know if that's true, but I do think it's really funny the way
It was a
things turn.
funny situation in like an uncomfortable way. But let's get to Kiki and the rest. This was a nice scene. And as we've discussed last week, you know, you may have your thoughts and feelings about what happened to Kiki with her father and her stepmother when she was a teenager. At the end of the day, it's her life. This is also going to come into play with somebody else later, but this is her life. She is cool with her dad. She's moving forward. So we at home are going to be on board with it. And we're going to root for happy moments such as this, where you actually see, and you can literally see how proud her dad is in this moment, like taking
Yeah.
pictures. He has this like full circle moment where he's like, you know, in Haiti, we think that modeling is the equivalent to prostitution or stripping or porn or whatever it is. And in this moment, it's like, oh, this is what you do. This is really cool. And it's also even cooler that the first time he sees her do it, it's at a fucking like PJ with luggage.
Yeah.
That was sick. So
I'm so happy that that's what she ended up setting up because, look, Kiki does a lot of different modeling. I'm sure she does some swimwear. I'm sure she does lingerie. The fact that we're walking into this talking to her dad about how uncomfortable he might be, I'm worried that it's going to be a lingerie shoot. I'm worried it's going to be swimwear and he's going to be like, I don't like this. Older generation, different country. Who knows how that works down there? Like you said, if Kiki's okay with it and she's moving forward with the relationship, we should be okay with it and moving forward with the relationship, even though we just learned about this. That being said, I think this was perfect.
It was
I think it
nice.
was really nice, and I think it hit on all of the issues, all of the main conversation pieces that we've had between the two of them. He's taking pictures to send back to the family in Haiti to say, here you go.
This is
what
what she
she's
does.
doing. She makes a joke and says, can you tell everybody that this is my private jet just to get them going? And he says, of course. So they've got a good rapport right now, and they're able to talk about all these different things. And we've watched this blossom. It's
literally
nice.
from start to finish. It's been really nice. And like, I'm happy for them. If she's cool, I'm cool. And it was a nice scene. You know, nothing more to say about it. Now let's get to Lars's house. And I mean this so respectfully, not shady at all. And I'm all about people getting their bag. This is a house by feet. And
It
it's
is a house by
impressive.
feet.
Hey, I'm literally not.
Square footage.
Hey, there we go. It's impressive. And like, look, you can say what you want about Larsa. The comeuppance here, and I know she gets some money from Scotty, but she does have a very lucrative business in what she does. And to pay for a $5.7 million house, the house is beautiful. The backyard's gorgeous. She did it on her own.
The teddy bear's stupid.
The teddy bear's awful. Wispy?
It's really dumb.
Who the fuck is Wispy? Am I supposed to know this man?
No, you're not supposed to know that, man. And in an episode that is centered around good art,
Yeah. We get a
throwing this in the middle of this is a joke.
a gummy bear with
A
New York
chrome
City
gummy bear.
Department of Corrections
Yeah,
list.
what does that mean?
I have no idea. Where are you going to put that? The foyer? Walk in and be like, oh, cool teddy bear. What the fuck is this thing?
I take it because at the bottom of the sign, I really looked at this. It says bear, comma, gummy. So the name of the bear is Gummy Bear. He's going to jail. For what? What did this gummy bear do?
I don't care.
What did he do? What is he accused of?
Why?
Why do you want this in your lawn?
Bear, comma, gummy?
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
This thing sucked.
It really sucked. I'm happy that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I was worried you were going to be like, well, you know, it's kind of cool.
No, I wrote down wispy, ugly ass bear.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She drops wispy like it's Banksy.
I do love that we're getting this, like, and we've already seen the house, but this is like the big reveal of the house
Yeah.
where people are coming over, they're sleeping over. I never understand this. If you're rich as shit, have your house done before people come over.
Here's what I think happened.
Okay.
I think that
She ran out of time.
yes, for a couple reasons. I think one, she probably really is excited to get in there, which I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I would imagine she didn't re-up on release, thinking that
Yeah,
it would be
probably.
done by this date. And then, you know, as with everything, especially post-COVID, supply chains suck, you get delays. Then she's hit at the end, they're like, oh, this is on hold, that's on hold. And she's like, fuck, my lease is up.
I understand all of that. I just never really understand it when we're talking about like a $5.7 million house and we're in there. If you're giving a tour to Stephanie to say, this is where I'm going to do this and do that, fine, that's great. But if this is going to be your big reveal, I'm going to say wait until next season.
I would say
Do the first event of next season because I do think that Larsa tends to think about production schedules. when
oh,
it
for
comes to
sure, without a
her
doubt.
specific life.
Yes.
Have the first event next year, which still very well could be. a housewarming party.
I agree, but at the same time, like if she's, this is the one time I'm really not going to shit on Larsa. I genuinely wasn't about
By the
how
way,
she
when
came
Larsa
forward.
was drunk later, she was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's
which,
great.
That's what you have to do.
Great
She's
episode.
not mean either. She's really nice.
She's funny.
Just get her a little drunk. She's funny. She's nice to everybody. Perfect.
And she still causes drama, but not in like a typical Larsa way where it's like in your face. It's more just like, this is what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
get on board. And I'm like, all right, I'm on board. Maybe she's just excited. Like, she seems genuinely excited. This is her first home that she's owned. Like, I'm giving her all the props in this moment.
You are.
I thought this was a nice moment for Larsa.
Thought we were gonna make fun of her together. Nope.
I can make fun of the gummy bear. I
Okay.
can make fun of, like, I can understand completely where you're coming from. Like, I'm not going to reprimand you for where you stand. I just thought, in a world in which I usually make fun of Larsa or I'm not Team Larsa, like, this was a nice moment for her to be like, look what I have now. Look what I built. I put one foot in front of the other. And look what I get it.
Yeah.
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 Put my best foot forward.
There you go. Got any more? Get
Uh,
them all out now.
well, square footage is already taken.
Yeah, you're gonna be pissed later if you think of a good one. You're just gonna say it. I know that, but
Yeah, I'll just blurt it out if I think
Yeah.
of one along the way. But no, I just thought it was a nice moment. And Stephanie joins, takes a little dig, but she also acknowledges, like, beautiful house, just would have waited. She's on the same page as you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexia joins.
but hold on. Let's talk about Stephanie's comment. I'm talking as a third party, just watching TV,
Sure.
who doesn't understand the rich world.
This is your friend.
This is your friend. No, that's not even where I was going. What's going on with Stephanie's house?
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. But
fuck?
she doesn't live there.
Yeah,
She doesn't live in it.
at all.
Is that the difference?
She's never gonna live in it. It's
Didn't
gone.
didn't it get taken?
Yeah, it got taken.
Foreclosed upon?
I don't know. That's where it got a little.
Or ran out of
lines got
money? There,
crossed.
yeah, it's kind of.
Ran out of money, and then she didn't really want to do it. They wanted to blow it down to the studs and then take everything out that the ex-wife had planned and whatever.
Claimed that there was 10,000 square feet we weren't seeing. We find out later that the house itself is 10,000 square feet total, including the yard.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot came
So-
out about that house.
Very interesting comment to make. You know,
That's a very good point.
you might be living with Larsa.
She doesn't talk about money though.
No.
That was the
No.
funniest shit I've ever
I'm
heard.
so happy that turned around because it was such a not even a sticking point. It was just one of those. We said it a million times. If she keeps doing it, it's gonna get annoying. She did stop to some extent. She's
yeah,
a
but it
little
still
bit.
sneaks in.
It was a little more subtle than it was
Agreed.
before. The first like 3 episodes that she was in, she hit you over the head with it. I'm so happy that people picked up on that. And
Well,
we'll talk about that. when
leave
we
it
get
to Marisol. You know, of
Yeah.
course she's going to be the one to clock it. She's always the one to clock things. Like, no matter where you stand with Marisol, like she is the voice of reason usually for this group. She might be a little shady behind the scenes as we're finding out, but I genuinely or generally gravitate towards her opinion.
Yeah.
Usually, so I'm stoked that she called it out. I'm not surprised that she called it out, but Alexia joins Stephanie and Larsa, and we obviously, I guess. Stephanie's cool with Alexia now. We saw them on the cruise ship kind of make amends via throwing Marisol under the bus, which I'll bring up later because I thought that was interesting. But they start talking about the Todd stuff, which obviously is a little dangerous with Stephanie there, but they actually end up having a pretty good conversation because Larsa brings it up. Like, like, you're running out of time, right? Like, you have a few weeks until the 3-month thing. And Larsa's like, yeah. And he's going to bamboozle you or something like that. Alexia is open to that. And she's like, he might. And I gave him a lot of power. And this is where I stand after this conversation. She acknowledged it. She knows what the dangers are. She clarifies this is my life at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, when an adult says, I'm going to do this, I recognize the dangers, but it is my life and it's between Todd and I'm out.
I think it's a conversation that always is heavily dependent on who's there.
Sure.
A little surprised at Stephanie being there. She was this open about it.
Same.
Larsa seems to get these types of conversations done pretty well. I don't
Especially with
know-
Alexia.
Yeah, and I don't know what she does or what she has over Alexia that she's able to do this because we watch a very different conversation with Marisol later.
Sure.
And Marisol's her best friend who knows everything. So that's a little different. I still got, and I'm still kind of in the on the side of Alexia is now doing the backtrack of fuck, like how much did I say? What did I say? Specifically, what did I say about Todd? Can I take any of it back? No, I'm just going to ignore it. So now she's kind of changing her tune a little bit. And I do think it's the right approach, honestly, if we're going
Yeah.
to look at it that way. I think if you take some responsibility and say the type of thing of, I'm an adult. You got to let adults just do what they're going to do at some point. Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm out on it now. I'm like, all right, we'll see what I don't think it's a good idea. I don't
No,
think anybody
probably not.
watching thinks it's a good idea. Todd is a loser,
Yep.
but It's your life. And like all I was waiting for was the acknowledgement of, yes, I understand the risks. It's like, okay, then, do you, boo boo, I'm out. But it is an interesting conversation, especially considering Stephanie's there and the conversation with Marisol later. This is an important step for a newcomer, I think, especially one that comes in hot, is that somewhere along the way, the recognition of I need to like chill out a little bit and make amends and not just try to keep lighting things on fire.
Yeah.
It always bodes well and makes me confident for next season where it's like, okay, so you're going to come in now. You've got a lot of friends in the group. You might be a little edgy with a couple of them, but overall, you're in most people's good graces, which means the group can be cohesive, which means we can travel together. We can hang out with different groups. So that I thought was a subtle thing, but like an important thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an important thing. I do think that obviously Alexia passed the buck a little bit
I do
to
too.
Marisol, and Stephanie took it.
Yes, definitely.
Which in this context, I'm fully fine with because I'd rather you be cool with one and not cool with the other, or have to have a conversation with the other, than be a little trepidatious towards both.
Sure.
Just open your doors to everybody, because that's how people get hurt on this show, and that's what makes the show good.
Yep.
So why not?
Yep. Love it. Love to see it. Let's get to Julia and Martina and their boys. And obviously, we're still talking about the daughters being MIA. They're not coming home for Christmas. And, I don't know if production's being shady and throwing in like the scene of Julia not knowing where her child goes to school. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
She takes a video of Martina and the boys.
That's
and
like one of the only, what's her daughter's name?
Emmy, I believe. Emmy
Yeah.
and Vika.
Vika.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's probably one of the only scenes that they have of Emmy.
I think there was
maybe they're like,
no,
"Here
we
you
saw
go."
one 3 years
I
ago.
remember one like on the dock.
When they were talking about the empty nester situation and they were about to leave
Yep.
to go to Paris, I think she was going to school in.
I believe so.
Wow, how did I pull that one out?
Yeah.
But, they made amends, I guess. Like someone's coming home at some point in the near future, another one's coming back for spring break.
Yeah, Vika's coming back. Apparently, from what I got of this conversation, now again, obviously, we're finally getting specifics instead of just
Kind
kind
of.
of, not even really. We're just kind of breaking it down to two daughters instead
Right.
of,
The daughters,
generally speaking, my daughters.
my daughters.
My daughters. But yeah, apparently Vika seems a little bit more cool with the whole situation. Explains to Julia, hey, I think it would be a little easier if we were living at home, because then at least we would have some time to adjust. But now we're just kind of out of it. It all kind of still goes back to the conversation that you just brought up about the empty nesters.
Yes.
If I am looking at this unbiased, because I know we've been doing a ton of Julia hate recently, I'm actually shifting over to Martina hate today.
Me
But,
too.
yeah,
What a brutal
dude,
scene.
Fucking Jesus. But if we're doing this unbiased, I do think that Julia did really explain her emotions and what they wanted to do to her daughters in person years ago. And if we saw that on camera, I'm
Different
sure there were
story.
different conversations that happened throughout where it was like, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. And adoption happens quickly. So I do think that some of it is probably on the daughters, like,
There's
hey,
two sides to every story kind of
let's,
deal.
try to figure this out. Your parents want to be happy. They weren't ready to be empty nesters. They were ready to take on these boys. They took on the boys. It should be a happy moment. Maybe don't make it about yourself.
Yeah.
Just trying to be unbiased and just deal with the information that we do have.
I can see that.
But I got such a different vibe. I thought it was Julia. I thought it was, Julia and Martina maybe being a little insensitive to the daughters. I think it's mostly Martina.
I think they don't like Martina.
Jesus Christ.
Like in this situation, she got her kids back. Like
Yeah.
they're coming home. Fucking smile and say, "Great."
Yeah.
Well, they caused this because they can't do it. Shut up.
I had
You-
such a
you
different vibe. And
asshole.
obviously, she's very weird online and does a lot of things online. But in this show, when we've seen her be approached by somebody, it was early in the season. She was approached by Gertie. It was very weird. But it struck me as like, this is between you and Julia. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want any drama. I don't want to deal with any of this shit. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to walk away. I'm starting to get an idea that she has many more opinions.
Oh yeah,
And behind closed doors, she says a lot.
definitely.
If you're sitting here with Julia's daughters, talking about them, trying to be happy with them coming back into the fold, trying to figure things out, and you're just stone cold, well, they shouldn't have done it in the first place.
On camera, they're gonna see it.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was the dumbest shit. Like, what are you doing? Just even if you're not happy with the situation, support Julia. This has
Yeah.
been, you just acknowledge. It's almost like this. Like she acknowledged the hurt that she watched Julia go through
Mhm.
via her daughters. Okay. But instead of doing what Julia's doing, like, look, We talked a lot. I see where they're coming from. They see where I'm coming from. We made amends. We got a bridge forward here. She then villainizes the daughters again. And it's like, well, it's their fault you were so unhappy. So fuck them. It's like, whoa, dude. This isn't like a friend of, right? Like where you can be like, I'm still not cool with Adriana. That's a different story. This is blood. This is family.
Yep.
Family. I had to tell you.
Family.
Family. Just be cool, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're doing this on camera.
At least save face for camera.
Yeah, wait.
Just do what you've been doing.
Shut
and
the fuck
just
up.
Don't talk.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then also deactivate your fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
But that's a different story for a different day. But like, this was baffling. And Julia is hurt by it clearly, and clearly doesn't want to make it a bigger thing on camera. She's like, well, no, like because Martina goes like, I don't understand where they're coming from. And Julia's like, well, I do. Like, we're good. And I could like hear it in her head, like, what the fuck are you doing?
It was bigger for me that Julia understood where her daughters were coming from.
Definitely.
And I do think that it probably took, talking to Vika and actually going through everything and having the promise of, well, Vika's coming back. Emmy's going to figure out what she's going to do for school. She's got spring break coming up. She's got to figure out what she wants to do, but it might be her coming home, which is great. And that's great for me. Now I can finally see it from their perspective.
Yeah.
I do think, the scene that we got when they were over in Spain talking to the Godfather, who, isn't always Italian, I guess.
Oh,
Godfather. I'm
Oh.
kidding. Yeah, I'm just fucking. Whoops. Anyway, but yeah, when she was over in Spain talking to him,
Are
we
you
got
having a
completely
child? That
different
was a
vibe.
very, very dad joke.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, I got a vibe talking to him that she doesn't see that side of it. She doesn't understand what's going on, and she seems to be saying all the wrong things on camera that they're going to see later. Now this is a much different tune. There's a lot going on here. You would think that maybe Martina would at least shut up.
Just shut up.
Let her have a moment. And just, we'd still be able to see that you were displeased, but I do know that that is generally your disposition anyway.
It's just miserable.
So I wouldn't read too far into it because you're always miserable. You're a
Like-
curmudgeon. That's what you are. And I get that. When you start talking, now I'm starting to figure out that you're probably the problem here.
Yeah, dude, this scene was eye-opening. And I'm not like on the Julia train again, but I will point out like we go based off of what we see, what we get, evidence, all that stuff. From what we're seeing, there's a clear issue here, and it's clearly not Julia, who Martina admittedly is like, you look a lot less stressed. Let's change that.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking happy about this.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
You've got a
doing?
different air about you. Why?
Yeah, let's
change
let's
that.
go back to miserable like me.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. It was so weird, dude. And like
The scene that I thought was going to, quell all of those issues.
we were so close.
We were so close.
So close.
And it raised so many more eyebrows.
By the way, they probably didn't come home because they watched this episode and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm not fucking coming home.
Absolutely
She
not.
stinks, Mom.
Uh-huh.
By the way, it was never about the boys. Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page. I was stunned at this whole thing, and I felt bad for Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Let's get to Lisa and Jody for another. There's a lot of great scenes this episode.
This was so funny.
Stunning. This was shocking, bro. So first of all, Jody wants to have a nice night. Hires like a private chef. They're doing hamachi, which is, oh, I love hamachi so much. But they go out on the deck. They're talking. It's above and beyond the most adult conversation I've seen.
Yep.
Not just Lisa, but both of them have.
Before we
together.
even get to that, I do want to talk about Jody in particular because we start the scene talking about how Jody loves being around the kids.
Yes.
I do think he loves being around the kids.
Not
I
tonight.
think he is just so goddamn awkward.
Yeah, I
I
think
think he really is. And he strikes me as somebody who's probably, maybe he's a single child. Maybe he doesn't have nieces and nephews. That man has never been around children.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Hey, bud,
point.
you good? You want, this is your food? Just eat it.
I put it in your bowl.
Your bowl. This is
love you?
Your girlfriend of 3 years, children who you've been around countless times.
Maybe it's camera stuff.
It could be
maybe
camera
that,
stuff
you
too,
know?
because we did see that confessional where she basically had to like walk him through.
Yeah,
how to
and,
do a
like-
confessional.
What I'll say about this scene is I thought Jody scored a lot of points.
Yeah, no, Jody made a ton of sense during this, and I also think that Lisa listening to him and reacting and not freaking out scored a lot of points for Lisa.
Tons of points,
No,
dude.
we are getting more. Going back to that confessional again, where they sleep in separate bedrooms because they fight all the
Right,
time.
like-
It's like, all right, yeah, we don't want to hear that. We get more of that in this scene where it's like, all right, you guys are presenting on camera like the perfect couple, and we're hearing behind the scenes that it's not that way, and that's okay.
Yeah,
by
but
the way.
tell us.
Tell us, and well, you don't have to tell us, but like,
No, tell
we're a
me.
TV show,
No,
tell
tell
us
us.
everything. And it makes sense when you start talking about it. Everybody in their right mind is going to understand where you're coming from, both of you.
And then I'm on there, like, I've been neutral with these two.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care really. I'm indifferent. After this scene, I'm like, I'm kind of rooting for you guys.
Yeah, I want you guys to make it.
Yeah, because Jody, like Lisa, obviously, of course, with the setup is like, this makes me think something special is gonna happen, and Jody's like, look, dude, and, like completely
Literally,
fucking
the look dude was conveyed by his eyes.
just, look, dude, we need to talk.
Yeah.
I want to do that eventually,
Uh-huh.
but you need to understand over the past couple of years, like first of all, the fact that I stuck it out through all of that shit, which I thought was a little strong, but whatever. I the way the conversation worked out.
I understood what he meant. Obviously,
did I.
We all understood what he meant. The way he said it was,
A little brash.
and obviously production being a little shady, throwing
Sure.
the Lenny comment in there where he said the same thing. Like, I don't think there's anybody in the world that would be able to stick it out
Right.
with you the way that you are. But I understand what he means. Yeah, it was fucking hell. We
crazy.
saw it on TV. It was hell, and she got no love from her castmates while she was going through it because they were just trying to get her to shut up about Lenny.
Yep.
And in reality, she was going through a terrible divorce.
Horrible.
And he was being a tyrant. And she had to stick it out and figure all these things out when she didn't know what the hell she was doing.
Still
she was
doesn't.
just listening to lawyers. Jody, I get where you're coming from, but sitting there and saying, who do you know? Name me one person that would be able to stick it out with you that long. It's,
Yeah.
dude, like,
There's a different way to do that.
you could change the words and say the exact same thing and it would come off so much nicer.
Look, the last years have been really hard. I stuck it out because I love you.
Good job.
Bang, right
Yeah,
there.
perfect.
That's what he was trying to say, I believe.
She didn't react to that, which was nice.
Well, that was where she started to get a lot of points. And that's where, like, I was able to look past the way that he entered the conversation because everything that he was saying makes a lot of sense. I can not put up with, but I can understand that you're going through something, that people go through things. I'm like, good point, Jody. People do go through things. Nice job. And you're going through a hell of a thing. I'm like,
The
all
bar's
right.
really low.
It's so low. It's so low. All he had to do was say,
You're
like,
so right, Jody. I love it when you're right. It
Yeah.
feels so good when you're
it's
right.
the first time I've ever heard you be right, and it feels so good. But like he says that, and I'm like, yeah, good point, dude. And then he's like, and look, like, what would really work for me? I'm like, communication, great. Is if you did something about it, therapy, books, something, an outlet, because this is eating you up inside, and it's affecting us because then you take it out on me. Didn't have to give the examples because that hammered it home.
Those examples were hilarious.
Drive slower, drive faster, get out of my way. You're standing in the hall. I'm like, oh, like, so breathing is a problem when she's pissed off. Okay, got it.
But like he did actually paint a nice picture of what it's like. And her reaction again says everything to me.
it's great.
Because she understood, yeah, I need to stop doing that. I also love that he threw Larsa in there.
Yeah,
That's fucking hilarious. You could have just kept this on topic, talking about Lenny, talking about the divorce and how stressed out she's been. Instead, you say, between Lenny and Larsa, you've got so much shit going on. You get into a fight with her, you get into a fight with him and his lawyers. I have to bear the brunt the entire time. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I love that he threw Larsa in there because Larsa is an instigator and she does
Absolutely.
actually play with Lisa's emotions.
And text Jody.
Yeah, and text Jody. So now it also paints a different picture of that whole situation just by this whole scene. This was like the verbal version of air conditioning
Yeah,
for me.
yeah. That's
It made me feel a lot better.
I was shocked by I was like,
Yeah.
wow. I just wrote down at the end, great convo, guys. Nice work.
Nice work.
I was shocked. That's all we
was
needed.
Receptive. She's going to move forward. And he said, look, if you do these things and you start getting better and you have an outlet, then I'm ready and I'm all yours.
Real quick too.
And again, that could be taken a little differently. That's a little manipulative. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
But not in this context for me.
We'll
This
just
is
take it.
just fine.
Take it as a W for these two finally, because we have yet to have one since they've been together. It's been awkward scenes, her being mad, Jody doing something weird, and us shitting on Jody for a while. So for once, good work, you two.
Good work.
Nice to see.
And that's all I really need here. And look, before we move on, I just want to talk to you guys really quick about our friends over at Prolon. You've heard Steele and I talk about Prolon a whole bunch. Anytime that we feel like, could use a bit of a reset. Maybe I've been eating like crap recently. Maybe football season just started and every Sunday I'm crushing wings. Maybe I don't feel so great about myself. Prolon's here to help because their 5-day fasting mimicking program is the reset that you need. It's the reset that I need. It's the reset that I turn to every single time that I'm not quite feeling like myself or maybe I've got an event coming up. I've got a birthday party at the end of the year. I'm going to be on the beach in December. I got to look my best. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn to Prolon because their 5-day fasting mimicking program is going to load me up with all their snacks, all their little things. It doesn't feel like a fast, not a typical fast at all, right, Steele?
Not at all. I just did one because after the summer, I decided that I was going to go a little crazy food-wise because I worked really hard this summer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just crush some food. And I did. And then I felt terrible. My stomach was all messed up. And I was like, I need a reset. Bang, Prolon 5-day mimicking fast got me right back on track, feeling good.
Sometimes that's all you need. And for a limited time, you can be first in line to experience the new Next Gen at special savings. Prolon is offering Bros and Shows listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day nutrition program. Just visit prolonlife.com/bros. That's prolonlife.com/bros to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/bros.
Now let's get back to the show and let's talk about Adriana. She's going through her art space. They're setting up 2,500 RSVPs for this show, which is really cool. Listening to her talk about art was interesting. She's like, he's got the brushstroke of Rembrandt, the creativity of a Dali. I'm like,
we're not exactly the socialites that are going to be in a museum in Paris that are going over all of these things.
I've never been to Paris.
You just have to name drop a couple of the most famous artists of all time and then associate them with a brushstroke.
And I'm hooked.
And I'm horny.
Like, wow, Dali, I know that one.
Bricked up.
Definitely heard of Rembrandt before. She drops some obscure guy that artsy people know. I'd be like, I don't know that guy. That's not impressive.
Full on brain boner. Thanks, Adriana.
Well done. Jesus Christ. Larsa joins, and immediately, and I'm stoked that this came up, this is the kind of petty shit that I love to talk about. The cake. 32 times 2 minus 5. We're trying to figure out who did it. Now, we go through the list of suspects later, but, immediately Larsa's blaming Julia. Adriana's blaming Julia. Whole thing's insensitive, and Larsa is Larsa-ing and just trying to set up pieces for later. She's doing a good
this
job.
is perfectly done.
I thought it was great.
I'm so happy that this came back because it seemed like such a one-off, let's just sweep this one under the rug and move on. It's just Adriana who really cares. But instead, it's Larsa who is exactly who I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to come into the group and at least start planting some seeds here and there. Let's talk about this. Let's get to the bottom of it because I feel like no one wanted to talk about it.
Like we never talked about the cake.
Gertie got up and just started wiping it off immediately and we just moved on.
Yep.
We didn't talk about the cake. It was shady. Let's figure out who it was because it wasn't Larsa unless it's she who smelt it, dealt it, which could have been the case. I didn't see this coming at all because we were both firmly mostly leaning towards Julia with an idea that maybe Marisol had something to do with it because she set up the trip.
This reveal was stunning.
It was awesome.
This
was so well done, and most of its production, of course, but you have to give props to the ladies.
It was really good. The reveal was great. Before we get to the reveal, there's a quick scene that we need to touch on with Marisol and Alexia regarding the Todd stuff again because they're on their way to the event. Now, this conversation does go differently than the one that we saw earlier, but at the same time, I felt that the general overall message once again was, it's my life, I'm going to do what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you, but I don't talk about Todd around you anymore because you're always negative about him, and this is where I'm going to do. So I'm done.
I think it was honestly well done on both parts because they both stood their ground, and Alexia's taken some time to figure out exactly how she's going to verbalize what's going on with Todd and how she's moving forward with Todd.
Mm.
And it's a lot of the same conversation that we saw earlier with Alexia talking to Larsa and Stephanie. But this had a way different tone.
Yep.
And it's almost leading towards something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Is this going to fray their relationship between Marisol and Alexia? Alexia is going to go through with this. And you're in that position as a friend where you've heard all of these things that she's been talking about. You know all of the bad things that he's done. You know what kind of impact he has on Alexia's life. You don't really want her to go through with it. You kind of want her to just remain single or maybe find somebody else and move on because it's not good. And I agree with Marisol, but I also agree with Alexia in this.
I agree with Marisol's sentiment. Yeah. You're right. Like, she shouldn't get back with Todd, but I agree with Alexia. At the end of the day, it's her decision. So it's like...
And also, if you're going to get back with Todd and every time that you talk about him in front of your best friend and she groans, you're not going to talk about Todd anymore.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, Marisol can rest on her laurels, and if it does go south, she did everything she could to try to avoid that situation so she doesn't have to feel like she didn't speak up. So I think you chalk it up to a wash. I do think it's going to lead to some tension between the two of them, especially if she does actually. I don't know where her and Todd stand. I imagine
No,
they're
there's
trying to
probably
keep
a
it quiet
reveal
till the
at
reunion.
reunion.
Exactly. But let's get back to the cake stuff because that's what I'm really into. And we even go through like the list of suspects. It's like a old school like crime movie. Like, bam, it flashes over this person, freeze
I
frame.
just love that the majority of the suspects were, she's too dumb.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, she couldn't pull this off.
Yeah, algebra doesn't seem like her strong suit.
Yeah,
That's
nah,
not gonna work.
definitely not her. Definitely not her. Julia was in charge of the cake. That's pretty damning evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But what we didn't know was that people already know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the last thing I expected, because you get Kiki and Gertie arriving together, and we get the reveal from Kiki herself. I did it.
Yep.
My favorite scene of this episode, there's a lot of good ones, is Gertie not answering the confession, going, I gotta go,
Yep.
and just steps up away from the
Gets
whole
up,
thing.
walks away. And I love, too, because clearly somebody's texting Gertie, and I don't know if it's producers. I don't know if it's maybe Lars is sitting over there like, hey, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Either way, it's some sort of good production because you're just trying to piece it together. We got to figure out who knows what's going on. Gertie gets the text message. Thank God. She's just alone with Kiki. And this was relatable, honestly,
Yeah.
in a weird way, because, yeah, was it, terrible execution on trying to make Adriana feel better about her age? Like, hey, you wanted to be 32. It's basically 32, but you're just going to multiply it by 2 and then subtract 5. It makes no real sense. I can see where she's coming from, that she thought that it was going to play
But
in
that's
a
why
funny
it's
way.
so great is like, sure,
Yeah.
but
It's a bit of a stretch.
exactly. It leaves the door open for speculation of, were you being shady
Mhm.
or were you trying to be nice? Because in the aftermath
I
of
think
the
funny.
ratchet,
I think funny trumps everything here.
I think that like she was trying to be funny, and I think that she was trying to be like funny, shady
Mm-hmm.
/ a little bit shady because she's still pissed that she got called ratchet.
Yep.
So I think at the end of the day, it's more shady than it was haha funny.
Yep.
But I also know, and because of her track record of not really getting involved in bullshit, she has the availability to be like, I was just being nice, and it went the wrong way, which leads us to all speculate, which is fun. And then at the end of the day, we're going to get to the reunion. No matter what Kiki says, Adriana's never going to forgive her for
No,
that.
not at all.
Even if she was being 100% genuine, this is...
Also, I don't think this had anything to do with the ratchet comment.
I don't know.
I really don't. Just because of what Kiki's reaction was later, I don't think this had anything to do with the ratchet comment. I think they had really moved on, and for whatever reason, I believe Kiki, when we see that they've moved on, and I think even later in that on that trip, the two of them looked at each other like, well, that was pretty stupid that we did that last night because look at these idiots. And they kind of just bonded and moved on, and we didn't talk about it anymore. I don't think Kiki was trying to get back at her for any reason. I think it was, yeah, maybe she was being a little shady. Maybe it was a little bit more of like, you're sucking the fun out of this party right now because you're just moping over there on your birthday. Let me poke a little fun at you. So it's a little shady. It's a little funny. It didn't go over well.
No.
The cake gets wiped off.
Yeah.
But then they have a great night. So Kiki
Sure.
says immediately, I felt bad. And then I didn't care anymore because Adriana was able to have fun. And I thought we would just move on.
So to play devil's advocate here, I'm on the same side as you. That's what I
Mhm.
think. But it's also the perfect crime because Kiki does have a spotless track record.
Yep.
That she can just take that stance and most of us will believe it.
Yeah.
It's the perfect crime.
Yeah.
So like we'll never know.
Yeah, I think that if it was a full get back, I think it was a get back because Adriana was miserable.
Yeah, and that one makes a little bit of sense. But let's get to Stephanie and Marisol because they sit down to, unbeknownst to Marisol, hash some things out.
Yeah.
And Stephanie lays it out for her. Now, this was confusing to me. And I'm glad that they got to a place, and this show is, Marisol in particular is always so good about being like, we're good. Let's just move the fuck on. So I'm glad that that's where we ended up. But the complete lack of acknowledgement that Alexia threw you under the bus multiple times, she doesn't even hear that.
Yeah.
That part of the conversation goes in one ear, not the other. I'm like,
Mhm.
like you realize that Alexia literally, we watched it, like blamed you for everything.
Yeah.
Now, are you at a point with her, Marisol, where you're like, I know Alexia, she does stupid shit like that. It's not that big of a deal.
I think it was, in my mind, I think it was 50%. yeah, I said those things. I did those things. I don't really care if Alexia is telling you that I did those
Okay.
things because I'm going to stand my ground anyway, and she does.
She does, which I always respect.
And I think part of it is also where she is with Alexia currently, with Todd. You know what? I've got bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
I do not care if this is what she's doing behind my back. It doesn't really matter because I did say those things. So it's not like she's talking shit behind my back that's untrue. She's telling you I did those things. I had an impact on whether or not Alexia was going to go. And it comes down to this is what I wanted to do. And this
Yeah.
is what I didn't want to do.
Because I didn't want to hear you talk about money. Now, granted, Stephanie is right in that Larsa was the one price dropping about the PJ and things like that. Now,
Yeah.
where she loses me entirely, and it's not that she hadn't made like references to money in the private jet before that, so it's not like that's the only comment that was made, but the fact that she then doubles down and says, I don't talk about money, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
you lost.
Yeah.
This is over now.
We're playing the semantics game at this point because you name drop every designer that you have. You did it for 4 or 5 straight episodes. It got really annoying, but you were doing other things.
You said I had a big Birkin for my Birkins.
Yeah, we let it slide, and obviously production comes in with a good compilation of all of the times that Stephanie has mentioned designers or talked about money, talked about how wealthy she is, how wealthy her husband is, whatever it might be. So she does those things. To not be aware that you were doing those things says something else to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So the end of the conversation, Marisol apologized. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I thought that the jet might do that, so I apologize for that. She goes to a confessional. Like, confessionals confirm where they stand.
Right.
And she goes to the confessional. She's like, look, I love Stephanie. She gets over things really quickly, just like me. So, like, yeah, like, we're going to be great. Stephanie echoes that for the most part. She's a little hesitant to fully trust Marisol, but at the end of the day, they're cool. This is something that Miami does exceptionally well amongst their cast, is being able to come to terms, even if they don't agree on something,
Right.
just being like, you know what, let's chalk it up and move on.
Yeah.
Lisa and Larsa already did it. Like, they have a track record of always being good at that. So that's what we love. We don't
And I
get
love to see that Stephanie, a newcomer, is able to do it so quickly. too,
Yes.
because she had the chance to make this a huge thing, sitting down with Adriana at the end of last episode, team up against Marisol. She's the real villain behind the scenes. She's moving in the shadows. She's influencing everybody's decisions when it comes to us, telling who people can like, can't like, go there, whatever it might be. And it didn't amount to any of that,
Nope.
which could have been annoying. And the other part of it is we get to see a little mini scene, which usually you and I tend to hone in on those. Why don't we see those at the time? This was good placement, I think, because we did not need to see that. I think it was while they were on the yacht still. Richard.
No, this is much better.
Yeah, this was just a little scene where they kind of squashed it, and now they're sitting down talking about it again. So Marisol's confused. I'm okay with the placement of the scene that we didn't get to see a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get to the craziness, because vibes are high. I'm watching at home, vibes are high. Like, this is a great episode. Things are trending in the right direction. Lisa and Larsa are hugging. Julia sees that. Julia gets sentimental. Like, oh, you know what? I really do miss Adriana. I want to hug Adriana. The only thing that could get in the way of this reconciliation, because Adriana wants it as well, is the cake.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, the cake comes up because she finds out that Kiki is the one behind it. And Adriana's mood instantly shifts.
The
and
way
now,
that she finds out that Kiki was the one who did it is so good. It's
Down the
so
line.
perfect for a housewife show.
Lisa to Larsa, Larsa to her.
Everybody's talking about it. She's still talking about random shit, just walking around. She's not even talking about the cake anymore. But unbeknownst to her, everybody else is talking about the cake because they need to figure out what's
Because
going
Larsa
on.
brought it up.
Exactly. Larsa brings it up, brings it to the party. Great timing. It's Adriana's party. Let's bring up something that might set Adriana off when she finds out who did it. I think Larsa thought that it was Julia because that is such low-hanging fruit. We've watched these two. Their whole friendship is like out the window at this point. We know why. This is going to set her off. We're going to have the two of them butting heads. We can all get involved. This is great producing by Larsa. She didn't expect it to be Kiki. She had no idea. And she finds out because she's talking to Alexia and Marisol, who knew because Kiki told them already.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we're just going to sit in the corner and just drink our cocktail and, just watch the circus because this is not going to be great. Kiki still, even talking to them, thought it was just going to be a joke. It was going to help her out, whatever. Who cares? Larsa's talking to Lisa. Lisa then says, oh, I heard it was Kiki.
To
That
Larsa.
is so good.
Yep.
Who's sitting right next to Adriana, who wasn't even thinking about the cake, finds out that people are talking about the cake, immediately gets confirmed that it was Kiki. holy shit, blow up.
Yeah, especially the way that it all happened. It was
Mhm.
almost like watching a movie. Like the vibes are so high, everyone's having fun, everyone's getting along. Julia and Adriana are talking again finally. It's like everything's happy, and it's like bam, wild card.
Absolute wild card.
Yeah, it was cinema. It was absolute
Naturally,
cinema.
Adriana starts to think about what she's done wrong to Kiki. This must be the wretched comment.
Wretched Ratchet situation, and it goes so south so fast
Yeah.
because her friend is there who is a fashion designer. And she goes to her friend, and to defend herself, which very important here, Kiki never called her racist.
No.
Nobody on the
Never saw
cast
that.
called her racist. Here's what I believe happened. Somebody said to her behind the scenes, that comes off kind of racist.
That's all that I can imagine.
That's the only
Because she
thing I
was
can think
talking
of.
about it so much in Seville.
Yes.
She was telling everybody that she was saying wretched, not ratchet. People were questioning it back and forth. And then they were probably just trying to explain to her, hey, you can't really say that to a black woman. She might take
it
it
has
as
a
racist.
different
It's got a
tone
different
to it.
connotation
Yes.
to it. Or she came home, and I could see Adriana doing this as well, and talked to random people about it. Maybe she's sitting at a coffee shop asking the difference between wretched and ratchet, explaining the whole situation, and a random stranger that she was talking to explained to her why
That
that
could come
might
off
be
racist.
a little racist. So don't do that. And this has just been festering in her mind, and you can tell that she is jumping through hoops, getting through all of it. And then she does my favorite thing of all time.
It's my least favorite
when you
thing of all
might
time.
be being accused of being racist.
Oh, don't do it.
I have black friends.
Oh, it's
How
so
am I
bad.
racist?
Oh, it's so bad.
Unbelievable. And the fact that it's Adriana doing it, you can't help but laugh at her. Because again, nobody called her racist.
No.
And she's not racist.
And Kiki is so appalled. She's like, I'm fucking leaving. I think
Yeah.
she left in an Amazon truck, is what it
like
looks
she was
like.
living in an Amazon truck. Now, it was Art Basel, so maybe it was just an art piece.
Oh,
It
yeah,
wasn't a real
sure.
car. It was an Amazon art piece. Who knows? But Kiki, yeah, freaks out. Doesn't even want to deal with it. Leaves, not dealing with this
Probably
shit
the right move.
at all. Definitely not doing this. And in a moment that could have been Adriana and Julia coming back together, they were just going to maybe lock lips, maybe eyes, boobs. That's what they were talking about. Nope.
Nope.
Because Julia's going to sit her down and explain to her, one, which she is right, Kiki never called you racist.
Very important.
And Adriana takes that as, of course you're defending Kiki. You never have my back.
That's not what she said. She
Nope.
just clarified a very important point that nobody ever said this, and the fact that you're repeating it about yourself.
Not a good look.
When you say, let my black friend Carol tell you that I'm not racist, and then you keep repeating, I'm not racist, inherently, some people are going to question whether or not you're racist.
People are going to question why you're in this situation and did you do something racist?
The whole time she keeps going, I'm like, oh, stop. Somebody stop her. And she, like, her
man.
friend Carol, I thought handled herself as well as she possibly could. She's like,
Mhm.
no, not at all. Like, I think she was just trying to like direct it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Adriana being who she is.
Adriana's asking leading questions.
Yeah, and like the way that Adriana is when she gets stuck on something, as we saw with Marisol and the yacht party with the two boats, like she is relentless and she just keeps saying, you know, all of these stupid things. It's getting worse and worse. Gertie is trying her best to be like, dude, shut up.
Yep.
Also, nobody said that.
Yep.
You're saying it, and now we're starting to have questions about you. And it just devolves from there. I just literally wrote oof in
Big
my
oof.
book. Like massive oof. And the whole point of this whole thing before that came up was Julia wanted to reconcile with you. Instead, she tells you and honestly, like when we get the clip last week,
Mm-hmm.
all they showed was you're not fun anymore. And I was like, that's really mean. In context, especially in this context, you're not fun anymore because you're always so negative. I'm like, yeah, probably.
I do get it.
Yeah, probably.
The way that we've seen Adriana turn these last couple of episodes gives you a peek into what she's actually like, and I
Yeah.
get it. And look, again, we're enjoying Adriana this season. If I had to hang out with Adriana all the time, I think I would lose my mind.
Sure, I get
Because
that.
she is like that. She is incredibly negative. She always wants to talk shit on people. We've seen this for seasons now. She has such a stick up her ass about Marisol and Alexia that she's always going to throw them under the bus. She's always going to talk about how bad they are or whatever. Now you're friends with those people. And I get it from where Julia is coming from. I have defended you a million times, and it always makes me look stupid. now I'm just done. I want to be friends with these people instead of just being friends with you. I
Yep.
get it. I fully understand it. Adriana does not.
To the point that when Julia comes back just to see where Kiki had gone to, she's like, I think she left. Why are you protecting her? That's not that.
Nope.
That's not what she's just informing you that the woman you just accused of calling you racist
Yeah.
has fled the scene because she doesn't want to deal with this bullshit. Nor does anybody else. Us at home, like it was like a train wreck. I couldn't stop watching it. I had to write this line down from Adriana herself. You want Carol, who's black, to give her opinion?
No.
Ah,
We don't.
what the fuck?
What are you doing?
So
I think the best part is, again, with the comedic timing. Kiki was about to tell Adriana
I
that
know.
she did it too. And to be fair, it's Adriana, so it probably would have played out the exact same way.
it would have gone the same
Would have
direction
gone the exact same way.
because
it
she
may
would have
have-
immediately said, "I'm not racist," and be like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
what?"
Yeah. And that just kind of goes to show you that this has been festering in Adriana's mind.
Because somebody planted,
Because
or
somebody
she planted
told
that
her-
seed herself. Like she very well might have learned what ratchet meant and been like, "Oh God, I hope I'm not coming off as a racist. Let me get ahead of this one
Yeah.
by."
She could have done it herself. Look, she's very astute. We know that. So maybe she just dove into some books.
Well, we know that she's book smart, but not street smart.
Correct.
So like that would lead to this moment if you like do too much research and you're like, I know how to get ahead of this one, and then having no street smarts, you go into this party,
Yeah.
no social skills whatsoever, and this is how you handle it.
Yeah.
You bring your black friend with you to clarify that you're not racist
Correct.
to a black woman.
Poor Carol.
Wow.
Throw her into this
Just
situation.
wow.
Yeah. And give her zero context, by the way. Just
None.
leading questions. I said wretched. Is that racist? It's not what it came across
That's
as.
not what it looked like when it happened. I think
man.
most of us at home had this similar, like, ooh, when you said it originally. Like all of us at home are like, not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
My initial reaction was, you don't know what that word means.
That's
Why
what
are you
I
saying
thought.
that?
You don't know what it means, and that comes off not the way you think it does, is where I went.
Mhm.
This didn't help that.
No. You learned what it meant, and now you're defending yourself against nobody.
Literally.
Yeah.
This could have been chalked up to that was kind of mean.
Yeah.
And
You
Kiki
could have
going,
just gone to Kiki and been like, that was fucking mean.
yeah,
Why'd
it
you
hurt my
do that?
feelings.
It hurt my feelings. And then she would have explained it, and you could have accepted or not accepted her apology.
Either or.
And then moved on to your nice, fun party at Art Basel.
But instead you did this at an event you're hosting.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What does Chris Rivers think about this?
He's probably gone.
What the
He met way too many housewives, and he's out of there.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it was
What a
just
show.
an electric episode. So much happened. It was so good. I was not expecting that ending. I wasn't expecting 90% of what we got this episode. It was exceptional TV. This might have been the best episode of the season.
Mhm.
And just wow. Like that we kept hinting at it all episode just cuz like I was waiting
Just
for
couldn't
it.
wait to talk about it.
Yeah, cuz it was just like literally watching a train wreck and you're just want to stop it but you can't look away.
Yeah,
And only Adriana could do it the way that she did it.
for sure.
Like-
and it's setting up for the end of the season with her being center stage, which history tells us is not good.
But it's late
But
enough in the season.
Late enough in the season where we don't really have to worry about it too much.
There's not a lot of ramifications other than reunion talk, and Andy being Andy is not going to spend too much time on Adriana, I don't think. Not to take away from, again, like the beginning of the episode, watching her do her thing was genuinely impressive.
Yep.
Watching her do her thing at the end was really unimpressive. So,
Yeah.
what an episode. What a roller coaster.
Glass case of emotions.
Yeah, dude, that was great TV. Great TV, great show, great season. We are wrapping it up soon. I mean, soon is relative. We still have 5 weeks because we got 3 reunions.
Yeah. I think we've got 2 episodes left and then 3 reunions.
And 3 reunions. So we still got a good chunk of time. Excited to see how it wraps up. We don't have questions because we're doing this right before it airs. We do get the screeners for Miami. It's one of the few shows we get the full season of. So we're doing a little early, but we will field your questions probably in our members Zoom at the end of the month if you have Miami questions or next week. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
Well, that's our show. Bros gotta go.